Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Good to be with you, Greta.
All right, Senator, a lot of people trying different sorts of ideas to try to get everyone to figure out a solution for this problem in Washington. And I'm curious, you have sent a Dear Colleague letter to your colleagues suggesting maybe getting together tomorrow. What is your letter?
You know, I think we're going to have coffee tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the steps. I think really people think this is one party or the other. My understanding is the American people are frustrated with both parties not talking. And I think there's some symbolism to it. But I think we could also have coffee and talk about what is the final position that both sides would accept in order to get there. There's already rumblings of this, that there is a position that we could all come to, but it would involve negotiating. The problem I see right now is the other side keeps saying they will not negotiate. Well, how do you find compromise if you're not going to negotiate?
Why won't they negotiate? Is it that they feel that they have such a strong position, they've given up so much for so long, or do they want to bloody the nose of the Republicans?
You know, I'm not sure, but I think it's an untenable position because I think ultimately Americans do want us to talk to each other. They recognize we don't agree on everything, and they do want us to find a middle ground. But right now, we started out with us wanting no Obamacare and then wanting 100% of Obamacare. I think really there's going to be somewhere in the middle that we could find that fixes some of the worst parts of Obamacare, and I really think all it takes is a little bit of discussion.
Where is that middle ground, do you see? If you could sort of step ahead or step outside the problem, what do you think really is sort of attractive that both parties could and should agree upon now?
You know, I think we've already hit one of them where we should have. We talked about a one-year delay to sort out some of the differences. The Democrats didn't accept that. We also talked about a delay just of the individual mandate, and they didn't accept that either. I think there's also discussion of whether or not getting rid of the medical devices tax. You know, 80 senators, including about 20 Democrat senators, voted, maybe even 30 Democrat senators voted to repeal the medical devices tax. I think that would go a long way towards getting rid of a tax we think will really hurt jobs and will really be onerous on innovation in medical technology.
One of the proposals that I understand is coming out of the Democratic side of the aisle is that, you know, vote on a clean continuing resolution, and then they are willing to figure out ways to sort of tinker with Obamacare to make it what may be a better bill than it is, a better law than it is now in their view and your view, as well as discussing the tax on medical devices. I mean, it sounds like they're willing to sort of separate that discussion out. But is it that the Republicans don't trust the Democrats, or you have no leverage if you get to that point?
Well, see, the problem is we've had, you know, at least a year, maybe 2 years to fix some of these problems, and they don't bring them to Congress. They go around Congress, and the president just does what he wants to do. I think in an extra constitutional or illegal fashion, he just does what he wants to do by executive fiat. And so I'm not sure they will come to Congress. And here's the other problem. We wouldn't be here with this shutdown if Harry Reid had been passing appropriation bills. If he had passed all of his appropriation bill this year, you couldn't shut down anything. So people complain about, oh, these terrible people shut down government. Well, if Harry Reid had done his job and passed the appropriation bills, there would be no spending to shut down or to hold hostage.
Well, things have gotten pretty rugged today. For instance, you tweeted the president sent more security to World War II Memorial than he sent to Benghazi. Senator Durbin on the other side of the aisle said every parent knows that if you give in to a spoiled child, I guess he was referring, he's making a slap at the Republican Party, if you give everything to a spoiled child today, it will be worse tomorrow. So both sides are, they're taking out the knives.
Yeah, well, I don't think we've completely gotten rid of politics. And we had a little fun with that tweet today, and I actually still am laughing thinking about it. But it's kind of serious and kind of sad. There was a time during the attack in Benghazi when there were 5 people there protecting 4 people and the ambassador. There weren't many people protecting him. And today there were 7 people trying to keep the World War II vets from seeing the monuments. And somebody did make a political decision. I promise you that someone didn't get all the employees out there putting barricades up for hundreds of yards if they didn't want to make a political statement. They're trying to blame this on Republicans, but in the end it's just stupid to block an open monument and say, oh, you can't go look at the monument. We have thousands of veterans coming here, traveling across the country, actually some being flown here, and then we're going to not let them look at the monument? Absurd, whoever made that decision.
Is the fight over the debt ceiling, which is our next on our horizon, is that going to be more rugged than this battle?
You know, I think all of these things should have